Hey guys, welcome back. So, couple things. As you can see, I kind of dressed up, and the reason for that is today we're going to talk about a couple things, and part of it is going to deal with blues. So, Pat, here you go. But then the second thing I want to talk about is breaking out of use of the pentatonic scale for a lot of things. So, grab your sunglasses, grab your hat. Let's have some fun. Okay, guys, so phrasing. With your phrasing, that is a topic that can honestly take, you could talk about it for days, and there'd still be more to cover, because phrasing, the skinny on it, is really learning how to speak what's in your heart. That's what's going to make you unique from everybody else. Whether you speak through slides and bends and, finger tapping, okay. Whether you express yourself by your chording. A lot of your phrasing is going to be based off of you. I've said it before on a page I'm a part of. I'm not a speed guitarist. I have high regard for the guys that can sit there and speed pick, these 30-minute sessions, and then, they could keep on going. It's like, wow, that I'm super impressed by that. But that's not who I am, and that may not be who you are. The key here, though, is saying what you feel, but saying it for the right reason. What do I mean by that? Well, early in my playing, you're gonna laugh at this, and that's okay. Early when I started playing guitar, my dream was to be a musician, have my own private jet, have the sunglasses, have the fans play the stadiums, just be a legendary guitarist. And mind you, I didn't know a whole lot at the time, but I thought that if I just played what I knew and didn't really grow so much, but just kept repeating the same things that I always did, then, maybe one day I would make it big, I wanted the guitar sponsorships, I wanted the recognitions. But I learned that music's not about entertaining other people. That people are entertained is great, but if you're playing your music to entertain other people, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Music's main focus, music's only purpose, is worship. God made music so he could be worshipped, and so what you say is very important, what you sing about is very important, but in your phrasing, getting back onto the main track here, with your phrasing, a lot of it is going to be based on your story and who you look up to as a guitarist and who you listen to a lot. So I listen to a lot of Christian contemporary, some gospel, I listen to some rap, I listen to hardcore, So all these different things kind of blend together. And I did listen to some blues as well. Um, I loved it. But with the phrasing that I have, I learned that for me it's very easy to fall back on the same phrases. Um, let me do it like this. So I have a track. It's just a guitar track, but we're gonna play some blues. I'm gonna play what I'm feeling with this song, and then feel free to play along. But then I'm gonna talk a little bit after that, and we'll see what happens. I want you guys to hear some things. Okay, so that was nice regular chunk blues. It was in A minor. Um, but for most of that, I was playing on Autopilot. That can be a dangerous part of your phrasing. That, I know Autopilot, for those of you who know, Autopilot is more of a thing of the mind. But with your phrasing, it's easy. It's very, very easy to switch your mind to Autopilot and go and phrase the things that are familiar. And after a while, it just becomes routine. You know, that bend in that part of the song, that way you phrase that, it just becomes habit. But learn to break free from that. There's so much more you can do. There's so much more that's there that can be said. You know? If I were playing from my heart, it would sound slightly different. So, let's try this again. And I actually want to play it this time. And I want you guys to hear just how it sounds different. wasn't completely let go, but that was more from my heart. Did I use some of the same things? Possibly. But for me, I feel the difference, and I'm sure you can hear the difference. Not because, guys, I didn't write out, there's no, one sec, there is no chart here. I have no chart here that I'm basing all this off of. There's literally freestyle right now. But when it comes to your phrasing, it's absolutely vital, guys, that you learn to speak from your hearts. Whether you do that when you sing, you do that when you play, you do that when you speak, just when you live it with everything you got, and live it open. You know? Live it so that people can see who you are, because you do have your own unique flavor. You know, the Bible says that we as Christians, we're supposed to be salt and light. Salt has its own flavor to it. You know, when its flavor's gone, then it's not good for anything. The Bible says it's good for nothing but be cast out and trampled under the feet of men. You have your own unique flavor as a person, as a musician, and it's important to learn that and to let that out. Jesus really is the way that allows us to do that, because we find ourselves in Him. The other thing I want to talk to you about is pentatonic scales, how to be set free. So another backstory, I'll try to keep it fast. When I learned church songs, there's a couple of them that are absolutely wonderful songs to dance to. Let me kind of get you the idea for one. Pardon me as I adjust all this. Alright, so one is, I don't know the actual name of it, but I think it's I Can't Stop Praising Your Name, something like that. It goes like this. And so as a guitarist, especially younger, I would look and be like, when I learned, hey, an E minor blues or E minor scale works great, but that's also a cheap way of doing a blues scale in that song. And so you sit there and you're playing like, okay, this sounds great. Well, when you put your mindset on autopilot and you jump back to the same scale, same pattern every time, you start to teach yourself to get set in your ways. And that's what happened to me, is whenever we would play songs like that, I would find that scale, and then I'd start to kind of try to jam, try to freestyle it a little bit, but after a while the same things start coming through. So what do? Because I know I'm not the only one. Well, go back to your major scale. So that song was in E flat minor, which means G flat major is your scale. Well, since that song has such a minor influence, those of you that know modes, you can use your Aeolian mode. You could even use a Dorian. That's a bit of a happy minor. You could use your Phrygian. You start to put these different pieces together. And no, guys, that's not perfect. But it's taking those ideas and starting to run. And then taking the realization of, hey, that major scale, if you keep playing your major scale up your fretboard, finding out where it begins and where it ends, you'll find that your pentatonic scales are interlaced around your major scales. And so if you take your pentatonic scale knowledge and you say, okay, I'm not going to play pentatonic scales, but I know that wherever there's a gap of 2 frets, there's going to be my major scale starting somewhere right there. So this form. It'll be the 4th form here. That's going to be it's your major scale in disguise, just stripped of a few notes. So once you practice playing with your major scale versus pentatonics, and you start to realize, or you start to find different things you can do with your major scale, then you can take your major scale, blend it with the pentatonics, not just pentatonics. You'll be able to do some pretty cool stuff. So I know this was a really long video, sorry about that. I'll try to get the next one out soon, guys. We'll talk about a couple more things. But thank you guys for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. But you guys take care. Hopefully we'll be jamming soon, guys.